Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today I'm going to be bringing you up to speed with everything that is Harry Potter as of May 2025. Because there's a lot happening in the wizarding world right now, from casting announcements to production updates, and even a few surprises that no one saw coming. And one of the biggest headlines, Tom Felton, yes, Draco Malfoy himself, is officially returning to the franchise. But more on that later in the video. Let's get into it. The first bit of news that I want to touch on comes from an article published last week in the Sunday Express, which contains a number of little tidbits about the upcoming Harry Potter TV series. Worth noting, however, is that this may not be accurate information. And one of the most eye-catching revelations from this article is the sheer scale of the show's production budget. Warner Bros. Reportedly plans to spend over $3.15 billion across the full run of the series, accounting to nearly £75 million per episode. If accurate, this would make it the most expensive television or film production ever, surpassing Game of Thrones, The Rings of Power, and even eclipsing every major blockbuster film in history. It's hard for me to even begin to fathom how a singular episode of a show could cost £75 million, but either way, it's quite the statement. I just wonder if it's true. Much of this cost is being attributed to the show's decision to film entirely in the UK, the elaborate set designs, top-tier visual effects, and a large cast. Not to mention the pressure to live up to the enormous legacy that the books and previous films left behind. The article also goes on to reveal that each season will be comprised of 6 episodes, bringing the total episode count to 42 across all 7 seasons, 1 season per book. And it sounds like these 42 episodes will be released over an 8-year period. I'm also going to make the bold assumption here that each episode will be roughly 60 to 90 minutes. To me, this is welcome news, as it shows that Warner Bros. Is likely prioritizing quality over quantity. It also gives them an opportunity to focus on depth, accuracy, and character development, something fans have long anticipated. But now the question is, how do they break down each book into 6 episodes? And how do they determine the primary focus of each of these episodes? As broadly as I can, here's my attempt at breaking down Season 1. Episode 1 will start just like the films, with the arrival of baby Harry at the Dursleys' doorstep. We'll then follow Harry's harsh upbringing and see strange things begin to happen as his 11th birthday approaches, culminating in Hagrid's arrival and the shocking news that Harry is a wizard. Episode 2 will follow Harry into the wizarding world for the first time as he visits Diagon Alley, learns about his past, gets his wand, and meets other key characters like Draco Malfoy. From there, he'll board the Hogwarts Express, meet Ron and Hermione, and arrive at Hogwarts. Episode 3 will cover Harry's introduction to Hogwarts, including the sorting ceremony and his early days at school. He'll begin to learn magic, attend classes, play Quidditch, and finally face the troll in the dungeon. Episode 4 will deepen the mystery around the Philosopher's Stone. The trio will encounter Fluffy the Three-Headed Dog, begin to suspect Snape of wrongdoing, and will also follow Harry's detention in the Forbidden Forest. Episode 5 brings Christmas and the Mirror of Erised, where Harry properly sees his parents for the first time. He'll then begin to piece together clues about the stone's protection, and the trio will prepare to act before it's too late, suspecting someone is after the stone. Episode 6 will see the trio go through the trapdoor and face all of the magical obstacles protecting the stone. The season finale will see Harry confronting Professor Quirrell and discovering Voldemort is still alive. The school year ends with Dumbledore's guidance and a Gryffindor House Cup victory. Of course, this is quite a broad overview, and the real beauty of the show is that they'll be able to dive into the minutiae that the films weren't able to cover effectively. What each episode really contains will depend entirely on how long each episode actually is. How do you guys think the first season will look? Break it down for me in the comments. Anyway, now for the next bit of news and a development that's sure to excite longtime fans. Tom Felton is officially returning to the wizarding world. Okay, but there's a caveat. He's not returning to the franchise in the way that we think. Multiple sources have indicated that Felton will be taking on a behind-the-scenes role in the production of the series, one that may not put him in front of the camera, but still places him firmly within the creative process. There's no word yet on exactly what his role will be, but it's clear the studio wants to keep some of that original era magic close at hand. In his book, Tom Felton reflects fondly on the mentorship he received from Jason Isaacs, who played his on-screen father, Lucius Malfoy. Felton describes Isaacs as warm, cheerful, and consistently supportive, someone who brought levity to the set and made a genuine effort to ensure he felt comfortable throughout the filming process. Therefore, it's entirely possible that Felton's role will be to carry that same spirit forward by supporting the next generation of Harry Potter actors. One thing's for sure, no matter what his involvement is with the project, it certainly can't hurt to have him there. The Dumbledore Problem. Some fans are not exactly raising their wands in celebration over the recent casting of John Lithgow as Albus Dumbledore. And while the Emmy-winning actor brings undeniable talent to the role, a segment of the fan base is voicing disappointment over one key detail. He's not British, something which was integral to the production of the films. Lithgow, a New York native, will be stepping into a role previously held by the late Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, both Irish actors whose portrayals helped cement Dumbledore as a quintessentially British character. And for many long-time fans of J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, that cultural authenticity is more than just nice to have, it's part of the magic. "I'm not an Englishman," Lithgow acknowledged during a recent appearance on The One Show, "but I've played one on TV. I remind everyone that I did play Winston Churchill on The Crown and did just fine. In fact, more than fine." Lithgow's performance earned him a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series in 2017. Still, some fans argue that portraying a historical British figure and playing the headmaster of Hogwarts are two very different things. "It's not just about the accent," one fan posted on social media. "Dumbledore feels British. His mannerisms, his humour, it's deeply rooted in that culture." Despite the pushback, Lithgow seems unfazed and even a bit amused by the controversy. "It's an enormous thrill," he said. "I know there were plenty of people appalled that an American should be hired to play the ultimate English wizard, but I will do my best. While Lithgow wasn't my first choice to play Dumbledore, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm disappointed. At the end of the day, I think he's a great actor, and he's definitely got the gravitas to take on a role like Dumbledore." As for the rest of the casting, there are still plenty of roles that haven't been announced. As for the trio and many of the other child actors, 32,000 children are revealed to have auditioned, so I imagine there's still some sifting to go through. But to close things out, I'll remind you all that filming for the show begins in summer of 2025, and with the deadline fast approaching, I'd be willing to bet that there are lots of exciting announcements on the near horizon. If you enjoy the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and to forget to live.